Okay, are fathers treated equally? Does family law respect men? Are we unfair when we speak of deadbeat dads? Find out. Ross Virgin is a men's rights activist. His organisation is in search of justice, and he joins me now. First time on my show, I think first time on Sun News, but over the years I've interviewed you many times.
That's right. I've been on your show along with you a lot, radio, television, yes, absolutely.
Now, I'm one of those fortunate people. I'm happily married. I don't think my wife is very happily married, but I'm happily married. But, I've never had to face any problems as a father, as a husband.
Keep it that way, Michael.
Well,
keep it that way.
Exactly. And everyone watching now, most people watching now who are in that situation will say, well, surely deadbeat dads are really bad guys and women suffer terribly when it comes to family law. The reason I wrote a men's column for the Globe and Mail some years ago. I wasn't interested in the issue, but they said, would you write a men's column? I had no idea. My eyes were opened how badly so many men are treated when it comes to divorce and custody and so on.
Did you get a lot of response from?
Massive. Desperate people. I mean,
yes.
Men would weep on the phone. This was actually pre-email, really. I mean, they were desperate.
That is common, Mike. On my phone, because I have publicity right around the world, my phone rings 24 hours a day, non-stop, and that's what I get on my phone line. Guys with, well, I guess I've been doing it for 39 years now, so there's not a story that I haven't heard. But when I first got involved in this, I always believed the feminist line that men are all bad, women are all good. I believed all that until I started seeing what guys are going through. And I always believed also that this concept that deadbeat dads, men don't care about their kids. Then I sat through some of these court cases, and just this week I've got a guy who contacted me. He has been trying, he has not seen his children now for 3 years, again because the ex-wife doesn't want him to. He has a court order giving him the right to. There are no courts and there are no police who will enforce those orders. This man has lost $43,000 in legal fees, trying to see his children. You think I'm going to allow anyone to call that guy a deadbeat dad? Not on your life. That's making every conceivable effort, but there is no enforcement of access or rights for fathers.
Okay, but let's establish that there are such things as deadbeat dads.
We've
all met women who, they're fine with joint custody. The guy simply will not pay. I meet women like this all the time.
I'm going to admit, Michael, that there are deadbeat dads. I hate that terminology, except for two reasons. I believe it's a feminist cliche that is overused and dramatized, so therefore we believe that all men are deadbeat dads. I will admit, but I won't make much of an admission, I'll admit that maybe fewer than 1 or 2 or 3% you may find deadbeat dads. But the second thing that I want to point out is, from my experiences, and I've spent a lot of time in family courts, a lot of hours, hundreds of thousands of hours. While I admit that 1 or 2 or 3% fathers might be deadbeat dads, and that's a very small number, I'm going to suggest to you, contested by probably some of the feminist viewers, that there are more deadbeat moms than there are deadbeat dads.
What does that mean?
Let me know exactly. Well, I'm glad you asked that, because women don't pay child support. The odd one does. A deadbeat mom, what I mean by that is the woman who, despite the courts requiring that those kids, and it being common sense that the kids want to see both have a relationship with both parents, any parent who interferes with the right of kids to know both their parents, that is a deadbeat parent.
Okay, but we've had years of Hollywood, of Canadian dramas, of documentaries saying, but the man is abusive. The court have said you must allow the father to see the children, but the child doesn't want to, and the mother's frightened, and she does all she... Now, I have met dozens of men, decent, wonderful men, who simply want to see their children for the meager every second weekend, one night a week, half the holidays, and they go and they knock on the door at their appointed time, and the wife says, go away. But not only that, I mean, I'm not, there's no agenda here. I'm a lucky man, but I've met these people, and they knock on the door, and when the wife says, go to hell, go to effing hell, you're not coming in here.
That's right.
When he kicks the door, the cops are called, and he spends 2 nights in jail.
That's exactly what happens. First of all, it is, he will kick the door out of frustration. He does not understand why there is a law, and a court order is law. And so there's a court order guaranteeing that on Friday night at 7 o'clock, he is supposed to be allowed to have those children. And then, of course, she does tell him, go to hell. He doesn't understand why. If he were to call the police at that time, the police will say, I'm sorry, sir, there's nothing I can do for you.
The police have never enforced custody law?
No, I don't I can't remember.
I think there have been one or two examples.
There may have been. I cannot remember very many. So the police simply say, there's nothing we can do for you, sir. And I really understand. And a lot of the cops, believe it or not, Michael, I don't knock the police. Many of those police themselves have been through crappy divorces. Many of those police themselves can't see their kids. So they understand. But what is their answer? They say, go and see your lawyer. Well, the lawyer wants another $10,000 and will do nothing for the guy. Yeah. He already has, that father already has a court order saying you have the right to see your kids. Why should you go back to his lawyer and pay another $10,000?
Okay. I wish we had more time, but I just want to throw this one in so we have a general introduction. We'll have you back at some point. When it comes to abuse, domestic violence, the terminology tends to change. It's a reality, of course. I don't believe for a moment a lot of the figures that we're being given.
No, I don't believe it's that bad.
I would never name him, but this is someone who people will know. This is a senior person in Canadian life.
Right.
A very gentle man. Was taken to court. She was hitting him.
That's right.
She was unstable. She alleged that he had hit her. They immediately prosecuted him.
I have been in those situations where I've actually seen the man with blood coming down the front of his forehead, dripping off his nose, and he was arrested. And that just blows my mind because she alleged abuse. And the police in those situations, because I think you understand that over 10 years ago, there's a standing order now from the Ministry of the Attorney General that the police, where there's reason to believe that abuse may have taken place, they must make an arrest. And every police officer who makes those arrests tells me, said, Ross, I am not judge and jury. I have to make the arrest and then let the court look after it. The problem with that is that's another $20,000 for that man to go to for the next 3 years of court to defend himself and very often be found innocent. But who gives him back his $20,000? Who compensates for the 3 years of battling that he's gone through? And of course, while he's battling to show that he innocent until proven guilty? No. Guilty until proven innocent. Until you prove yourself innocent.
A couple of guarantees there. One is I will be inundated with emails asking for details.
Yes.
And the other guarantee is we're going to have you back because I know there are thousands of men watching now. And often they're second wives and grandmothers and so on.
Second wives call me nonstop and supporting.
We're going to have you back on the show. A website?
RossVirgin.com.
RossVirgin.com.
Yes, and I want people to call because I had some good news.
Okay, next time we're going to have some good news.
Okay.
And we need to find out why we need the good news.
Why we need
first.
the good news. But people who want the good news, even before the next time I'm on,
RossVirgin.com.
Go to RossVirgin.com.
Okay, touch for the very first time. Got to go. Thank you so much.
Excellent. Good night.